yesterday we were in the car when you picked me up and you told me a story which I found very interesting, and was wondering if you could tell it to me again.
If you live in an island with 60,000 people and you're living on the island of 1900, it's kind of hard for a child to go out and get an education and really come and set up a business because you're not sufficient population.
I felt deprived and I felt like, okay, I can't see myself growing if I stay here. Moreover, it's sad that you went away, you got a certain level of certification, let's say, you come back and they're putting you in a job where somebody out of high school can perform that work. It's almost like disrespect, like a slap to your face, but at the same time, it reminds you to be humble and that in life you never know where you might end up, so you just do the best. So that's why I left St. Martin, to try and do more for myself. I told you in Holland I used to read a lot more than I do down here in St. Martin. I'm very organized, I'm very goal-oriented up there compared to St. Martin. You know, and I can recreate myself. Nobody don't have no expectations of me besides what I provide to them.
I was born here. I finished high school pretty early, so I went on to study. At the age of 16, I went to Curaçao, and then I went on to Holland, to the Netherlands, to further my studies. But that wasn't the main reason. It could be if I keep stressing on it. But before I went away to study, I had a high school boyfriend, and he was living here. I went to Curaçao, and then he moved from St. Martin to Holland. And basically, you know, high school, crazy love, you do crazy things. So I left Curaçao and I went to Holland to be with him.
What did your parents think about that?
They didn't know.
Welcome to Curaçao.
Okay, thank you.
Subiba años na Singapore, nang subiba kasi 10 anos na Dubai. Mi tava ta puro aventura aia ko emocional. So para mim é importante para dançar de una nanda, aunque meito na dança na Dubai. Pero é importante para dançar de una nanda bene. Ando vakantie sempre que leuk. Gezellig, tour tem sempre tempo para ando ora po bini ba. A outra são que tenho que muito para querer ter contato com a gente não, para sobre não tá não novidade que pode a trove, você ora pode por vacança pode ir me tem, pero ora po bini ba para bom tour gente não pira que são aí largo a gewoon sigue.
Uma bem perto, tu já prueba e maior mas tá aqui nada, sendo que a biba de 8 anos de edad, tempo 20. Por hasta piso na mi número de cédula, como que da porta. Tu mi address na anto gewoon na aninga di wak de que existe. Emocionalmente mi também tanto senti-me ja niet horen. Mi sa mi non nansi que não. Pero mi roots de mi família já. Dus único pouco a passo comida nansi no landa. De resto de mi dingen zoals dat jaki, maar ik ben ook niet. Maar mijn basisschool ik nang, heb ik nang, maar mijn middelbare school ik nang. En de mensen cultuur, nou moet je op kaba na middelbare school kunnen bij Afrikaans is studie met daarmee bij ons. Dus mijn asintimi ik kom nergens staan. Dus zo na Hollanda, ik zit in de kaas voor op weer niet. Dus zo kom ik bij binnen Hollanda tam dit moet. Donc ja, in de chapo. Eigenlijk in Nambista. Wat de passo de certo coisa menos não, eu ponho o cinto com, ou ponho a mim cinto com nota de Holanda. também no Manans no Landas. Então aqui não, over bem werk aqui não, Miami que sei quando me sinto ik hoor hier ook niet thuis. Então esse sim faz grande impact, pero let it go. So, I accept it. I hope dat je iets aan kan hebben.
Dank je.
Ja?
Zie.
Oké. Moeilijke dingen.
Ah, eso sí.
Não,
É da Balma, você lembra da placa?
não, não tem plato. Tá net, tá bonita.
Isso mais que tu indo não pode ser bom, mas pode. Naquela época você te liga até essa classe, você vai LTS e LTS em cabeça. Na primeira vez LTS na minha cultura. Na Holanda, Então aqui, está tinha no plating, está ele vai helpando, tu verzorgende, aber você vem para verpleegkunde. Para mim eu não estou contente com meu pato eu não na Holanda. Eu não consegui estudar, eu não consegui estudar.
But then that's funny because now you tell me there's 3 terrains, there's even 4. There's a terrace in St. Martin,
Yeah,
there's a terrace of Curaçao,
yeah,
there's a terrace of Aruba, and there's a terrace of the Netherlands.
yeah.
And can you tell me the difference between them?
Well, the Aruba and Holland was more or less the same. And Curacao, to me, seeing that I could have communicated with them and so, it was more or less like living in St. Martin, but without the distractions. I just felt alienated.
Oh, okay. So the terrace of Aruba and the Netherlands felt like he didn't belong, and people just didn't take the time to understand him, or they just didn't care to understand him. Which one?
Both.
Mm. That's very true. Now, like from my own experience in Holland, it's just a number.
Yeah.
I find when I moved to the Netherlands, there was more colored people, more Caucasian people. Let me say it like that. I was like, wow. I really saw a lot of Caucasian people. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And people with different color eyes. And I know it may sound cheesy, but I really didn't have the experience with so much different people. And then it had people that had turbans on, and it had people that had headscarves, and it was like, I was really, really culture shocked. I realized that Holland had a system that is very straightforward. You come here, you learn the language, you live by your rules, and everything will be okay. So it's very strict.
I like the order and the structure that he afforded. But at the same time, the same bigotry or racism that I experienced in the US, I also experienced here. Maybe not to the extent of, as I saw in the US, but I also experienced it here nonetheless. And yeah,
I think some of it also, in my case, was also the color. Because looking back, I realized that in Holland and Aruba, I was forced to be hanging around with the light skinned folks. So automatically this was against me.
yeah.
So they just assume certain things, I couldn't fit in, if it was a language barrier or whatever the case might be, you know. I couldn't fit in.
How did that feel? You being there?
Felt alone. Felt alone. You know, everybody was doing their own thing. You know, you didn't feel togetherness. You know, yeah, you just felt alone. One of the classmates, she told me, Terrence, don't even bother trying speaking public. You sound like a Haitian or something. So I was like, okay.
We got married in Holland, in Brille, and then we returned to St. Martin, and we had a very interesting life here, because you know, we're from here, we lived about 10, 11 years in Holland. So when we returned, it was a lot of getting used to the system, because it's not the way you left it. We went separate ways. I don't know, for some reason, the culture is not like Holland. Everything seems more acceptable there, and here certain things are still considered taboo. So I felt a little out of place in society, being young and divorced. Also having lost kids, it was too much.
Quando ta tende solamente, bota riparata a me na gente não ku botava tem amistade com né, ku bota cambia.
What I did do think that it influenced within me is the agenda to aim, at least aim to do better, not only for myself and my family, but for my people in general, in terms of persons of my ethnicity.
Here in Samantha, when I was living here, I just took it for granted. If you're from here, if you're from there, you know, okay, whatever. You know, but now I appreciate them. No, they're here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just come here just because it's St. Martin. I want to live in St. Martin. They're here on a mission. Every foreigner, they're here on a mission.
And that's the beauty of when you migrate.
Yeah.
When you migrate and you come back to your home, you understand people's plight. You know.
Yeah.
The struggle, or even just all the work they had to even come here, the stuff they had to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And the reason for coming here.
Yeah.
And you can kind of somewhat relate to them.
Yeah.
And be like, well, that's me in a different setting. Like how they say like St. Martiners are lazy.
Yeah.
But I see it different because I've been with St. Martiners in different countries, like especially in the US.
Yeah.
They work their asses off. Like they work 2-3 jobs and still go to school. You're gonna tell me they're lazy? So it's yeah, traveling is a very much an eye opener, and I always encourage people, if you have the time, the chance to do so, do it, because you can't remain the same person you was when you first left.
Very true.
Yeah, man.
We're here. Would you like to tell it to me again?
Yeah, what happened, where I'm from in Nevis, our main industry was cotton. It's not cotton anymore. It's tourism now. My parents my grandparents used to plant cotton. So when you finish the cotton, you have to clean the land. So I was there cleaning the land at the time. So where I was cleaning the land, there was a street, a road lead to a prison. And there was some prisoners going to the prison with an officer in charge of them. And one of them said to the other, "You see what a guy doing there? Before I do that, I live in prison." He said, "Before I do that, I live in here. But I clean in my land, but then I will be free. When I leave from here, I'm going to go to the beach, I could go where I want, but you're going to go in a prison cell. How could you prefer that than what I'm doing?" But then I was young. I had my own mind, so I chose my way. I said, "Well, I'm free." And I came to St. Martin, and I always look to go ahead, you know, not to go back. And that's why I reach where I reach.
The thing is, if you want something in life, never wait for somebody to do something for you. You have to know for yourself if you want something in life, and you have to push forward.